think that I'm the nerd. No, the quite opposite. The nerdiest and weirdest dad. They want their dad to be a businessman or something.
Well, my kids are 8 and 6, and they're still in the age where they think I'm a superhero.
Oh, okay. No, it will go away. Don't worry.
It will actually.
Yeah.
It started to sense that I'm a normal person. So she started to get disappointed now.
Yeah, but my children are 7 and 4, and they still believe.
Of course, you are the superhero.
Hey. Hola. Hay aquí primera fila, Esther. Primera fila.
Los voluntarios también.
Sí. Yes, that's a banana session. Good. Okay, all right. Take your seats.
Focusing on the keywords.
Let me move this. There are more chairs.
We are actually in a workshop. We are very
Limor, you're the frequent flyer. You've been here. No, Limor. You're Limor also? No.
Nothing to say.
No, what's your name? Wait, what's your name?
Susanna.
Oh, Susanna, so you're not Limor.
And I have nothing to say.
Oh, and you have nothing to say. All right. Okay, hello. So are there more people climbing?
Which hashtag
Okay.
do you want me to use?
Whatever. You can use my name, Hanoch Piven.
I'm gonna write.
Okay.
I'm gonna write it correctly. Can you turn this around? I'm gonna write it even.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, in Twitter, I'm Hanoch Piven. Okay, maybe I should start. Because I have only 1 hour, and usually my workshops are at least 2 hours. So we're gonna do like some kind of reduced version of it. And I'll give you the setting for those of you who love therapy sessions. So the setting is like this. First, I'm gonna talk for like 20 minutes, something like that. I'm gonna try to do it fast. And then we're gonna do some hands-on activities. We're gonna do 2 things. We're gonna see how objects can help us be more creative. I'm gonna talk a bit about my process of work and point things that I think are universal that appear in every creative process. And then also we're gonna use objects to talk about ourselves. So objects are gonna help us talk. Communicate with each other and with ourselves. So I play. That's my profession. I play with objects, and I get paid to do that. And I've been doing it for over 20 years now, almost 25 years. This is okay. Not yet. And this is kind of where I come from creating portraits using everyday objects. And so basically what I want to talk about today is what I learned about creativity from playing with bananas. Okay? So that's one name we can give the session. Another name that we can give it, I like to call it the playful path. Because I believe that once you enter a playful path, you become more creative. Playfulness helps you see the world in a different way, and of course connect to the kid you are, which keeps trying different things. There are more chairs over there that you can grab a chair. What?
Look at that. That's good.
Yeah, there are chairs that are folded that you can open and whatever. So now playfulness not only makes us more creative. Playfulness helps us go around hurdles. Any parents here that ever made a face with food to your children? Why do we do it?
Because it's playful.
Yeah, because I don't know if somebody said it, but I'll assume somebody said it, because it helps them deal with something that usually it's harder for them to do. It makes it fun. And when they have fun, they don't notice the hardship. So playfulness helps us go around hard times. Now, many artists spoke about the combination between playfulness and creativity. Picasso even, he played with his food. There are many pictures of Picasso playing. And Picasso also he actually played with objects, just as we are going to do. Now, Picasso, who was a master draftsman, he could draw like no other. He didn't use his drawing talent to do this. He only used his ability to notice something, to see something in a different way, and to show it to us once he put it together. And he created the head of the bull. So I like this quote of seeing. What is seeing? What is noticing? To see, said Paul Valéry, the French poet, is to forget the name of the thing we are looking at. And what he means, what Paul Valéry means, is to do something that our brain doesn't want to do. Our brain wants to rush and define something and name something. It wants to take a direct path to understand the situation and move on. And in a way, we need to tell the brain, hold on, refrain from rushing, refrain from naming and tagging, and stay with the experience, and then maybe you will discover something new. In a way, we ask the brain to take a more playful road. So what are examples of us taking playful roads? For example, when we find faces in the world, we are taking a playful road. We are not defining, we are not labeling what we see, we are just enjoying the fun of seeing a face. And we react to it emotionally when we see that it has a facial expression. And the faces are everywhere. This is the bathroom in my house, the fan in my studio, they're on the street. So in a way, when we start seeing faces, we create a different awareness to the world. And that awareness suddenly teaches us new things. And we see new things that trigger ideas. So, and it's really like entering a road that is playful and doesn't have a preconceived route. In a way, this is the opposite of this, of the IKEA manual. Where instead of looking at what we have in front of us, we look all the time at what we were told that we were supposed to be doing. So this brings me to talk a little bit about roads, to observe roads in a different, basically I'm going to tell you the same thing now using a metaphor of roads. So what happens to us when we travel different roads? So the original roads were defined by trade needs. So the roads needed to be very efficient, very practical, direct. And basically, they were created for the maximum amount of people to travel at one time. They weren't created for us as individuals. They were created for the masses. So when we travel on a highway, usually our options, usually we are target oriented. We only know the exit that we need to get off the highway. And for our brain, it's very easy to drive on a highway, right? All we need to do is to keep distance from the car in front of us and not to leave the lane. And, we just disappear because it's so easy for our brain to do that. How many of you know that feeling of you ask yourself, who drove the last half an hour, because it wasn't me. And our options on the highway are very limited, really. I mean, this is what we have to eat on American highways. It doesn't look like a great deal, In a way, we enter a state of default, okay? Default is an absence of a choice made by the user. Somebody else made all the choices for us. And we are there just traveling. We don't have any interaction with the surrounding. If there is a person on the side of the highway with a sign that says, if you stop here, I'll give you $1 million, probably we won't see him. We won't notice it. And we come back to the moment only when we arrive to a junction, and then we need to take a decision, to make a decision, or when we have some kind of malfunction. And then we are again at the moment, we bring back all our resources and find a way to get out of this problem which we encountered. So this is what happens to us on the highway. But another type of road is the scenic route, what's called the scenic route. And the scenic route usually is obviously less direct. And people talk about the scenic route to talk about the fact that it takes more time. But what happens in the scenic route is that we have expectation to see something. We know that we're going to encounter things, so we look for them. And we relate and react to what we see. We see a nice place. We stop and we take a picture. We see a nice restaurant. We are constantly in a dialogue with the route and with ourselves. And it's also harder to drive on the scenic route. It's usually not such a great road, so we're much more in the presence. So in a way, I believe that any good creative process goes through a scenic route, you know? And the main thing that we have when we are here, we have awareness. We have an awareness to the moment. So the interesting thing is that many times when we experience a blockade, when we hit a wall and we need to get off the direct path, we end up on a scenic route. And we don't realize that the blockade actually sent us to a much better road of searching and of awareness to a better solution than what we thought we were doing. So I relate very much to this because I started working this way because I was here. I hit a wall. And I spoke yesterday about the fact that I don't draw very well. So when I was a kid, I actually drew a lot. This is me in... It always works. And, you know, in case of doubt, put a puppy or a little boy, you know. And this is my oldest caricature. It's my 4th grade teacher in Uruguay. And when I was in Uruguay, you know, obviously there are many cows in Uruguay, so we drew them, and we also ate them. So there are many steaks in my early drawings. And in Uruguay, there are many gauchos. And when I was 11, I moved from Uruguay to Israel, and the subject matters of my drawings changed a bit. But I wanted to be a caricaturist, and I was looking at the newspapers, what other caricaturists were doing, and I was copying it. But because life took me to other places, and eventually when I applied to art school at the age of 24, I wasn't accepted in Israel, so I ended up coming to New York, going to New York in the late 80s with my... No, come on.
He's so young.
This never happened. So anyway, when I arrived in New York, I realized that I actually wasn't very good. I kind of sucked. My caricatures were very simple. The great caricaturists at the time, they were doing really amazing, amazing work. And I realized that I was still trying to draw like... That's not mine, by the way, obviously. But I realized that I was really very limited technically. I didn't have a good technique. And I was very frustrated. And I really felt like I hit a wall. This is me hitting the wall. So as I said before, you know, hitting a wall might bring you to take a different route. Suddenly, it's a simple change of attitude. Instead of doing it the way you think you're supposed to doing it, suddenly you don't know what you're doing, and you start scanning. And that scanning really brought lots of good and interesting findings. First of all, I found this poster, the poster for the movie The Great Dictator of Charlie Chaplin. And I loved how the artist with so little information said so much. And I said, wow, if I can draw this way, nobody will realize that I can't draw. So I started thinking of how to do it this way. And as I was drawing Saddam Hussein at the first Gulf War in 1990, suddenly I came upon some matches that were next to the drawing, and I said, well, what if I use them as a mustache? And this was really the first illustration that I made, the first portrait that I made with objects. Oh. Thank you. And, but the interesting thing is that I wasn't looking to do that. I was experimenting with minimalism, how to use as little information as possible. But because I was into a new ground that I wasn't sure what it was, suddenly when the matches appeared there, it just seemed, okay, why not, you know? It was a happy accident, but I was in a state of mind that could accept that type of happy accident. So it's clear to me that that scenic route is really what brought me to find and to appreciate those two findings that were so determining in my development. So the scenic route really doesn't look like this. It looks more like this, you know? This is a more accurate depiction of it. And it's full of frustrations, and it's full of mistakes, and it's full of insecurity. And, but as Steve Jobs said in his famous talk at Stanford, you can connect the dots only when you look backwards. Only when you look backwards you can say what happened at A led to what happened at B, and then what happened in C. So, so let me tell you a little bit about what happens in that playful path. A couple of elements that I find in most of the process of my work. The first one is really trial and error. Now, it's very easy to say trial and error, and indeed, when I create a picture, I had the idea to use gears for the eyes, but I think I looked for like 20 different gears until I found the right ones. So the first 19 ones weren't good enough. Some of them were really bad. But because I didn't glue them, I only was moving them in and out, in and out. It was a system in which I didn't pay a heavy price for my mistakes. So one important thing is to create a system in which you don't pay a heavy price for your mistakes. That allows you to do mistakes. The second thing, and an essential part of this brings us back to the playfulness. When we play, we allow ourselves to make mistakes. Look at how happy these guys are. They're smiling, even though whoever understands soccer, football, knows that they just missed a big goal, right? But they're smiling. And they're smiling because they're playing. When they're playing, when they're in the middle of the game, they allow themselves to make mistakes. And when you try many things, things start to happen. So another thing, the playful path is full of happy accidents. When I drew Homer Simpson, I didn't like any of my sketches. I threw them to the garbage can, and then I looked at the garbage can, and it looked exactly like the mouth of Homer. It was just there, you know? So the happy accidents are always there. When I drew Prince Charles, I had the cutting board broke that week in my house, and it was clear that it was the right material for him. The only tea bag I had was called Prince of Wales tea, you know? So it's not only to notice the happy accidents, but it's also to create the fertile ground for them to arrive. And in my case, is filling tables with objects. Something will happen when I have all these fun objects around. In a playful path, we challenge assumptions. And it's easy to challenge an assumption when you in a way, you disrupt yourself and you enter an area that you have not been it before. So it's very easy to forget how things are supposed to be and to observe what the project wants. And a good example is the Fidel Castro that I drew, where at certain point, there was a face here. At certain point, I realized that this specific project didn't need a face. And it was still recognizable as Fidel Castro. So, that's, you can do that only when you are constantly listening to what's in front of you, rather than to listen to the preconception, the IKEA manual that you have in your brain. So that led me really to start using all kinds of materials like sausages, like marshmallows. But perhaps the most important thing that I learned is about the capacity to adapt, to keep changing all the time. In a way, because I don't glue the stuff until the very end, so there is a constant option and opportunity to change things and to improve them. So in a way, I always realize, I realize more and more that I'm totally in the middle of that scenic route, that it keeps changing and all the time. And in my case, it really taught me to adapt my professional life in an easier way. I started doing many other things. Even though what I wanted originally to do was just to be an illustrator for magazines, I do now, I've done some apps for the iPad where we can create things digitally. I've done some sculptures in the last couple of years. This is a sculpture I made for HP in Israel with all the garbage of HP Indigo. But perhaps the biggest change happened after I did my first book for children called The Perfect Purple Feather, or Notzaz Gula in Hebrew, for those of you that know it, or this other book, My Dog is as Smelly as Dirty Socks. So suddenly kids started to send me pictures that they created, and very innocent ones. Some sent me less innocent ones. This 12-year-old girl sent me a picture of Monica Lewinsky with a little letter that said, and I included the stain. And but that led for me to start visiting schools and doing workshops with children. And slowly I saw how accessible this process of work was for children, how easily they could create wonderful self-portraits. And some of them were a bit shocked, I guess. And slowly I saw that it wasn't just for children, but also adults could easily create wonderful work using objects. For example, this guy who is an X-ray technician in a hospital, he hasn't done any artwork since he was a kid, and look at the amazing self-portrait that he did. Now, if I would have given him a white piece of paper and a pencil, he probably would have done something like this. And he would have told me, no, I don't know how to draw. Most people think they don't know how to draw. A couple of you told me today, I'm not coming to your thing because I'm not good at art, you know. It immediately connects to some experience of failure that we have in our past. So I tell them, you're not drawing, don't worry, you're just playing. And once people play without noticing, they end up doing amazing stuff. But the more important thing is the realization that the objects have meaning and people can actually express, communicate things through the objects. It's not about creating a pretty picture. It's not about creating art. It's about communicating stuff that sometimes it's hard to say in words. And it could be, one example is the work that I've done with art therapists, with people suffering from cancer, where using the elements of the hospital, they express things that perhaps, again, are difficult to say with words. Or so in the last couple of years, I've been doing lots of workshops, also with companies and with educators, in which we use the objects in order to communicate, to reflect. And the reflection can be personal. A person is thinking about something, about what are his or her qualities, or it can be groups working together and defining different aspects that are perhaps sometimes abstract, or basically, as you will see very soon, the objects help subject emerge, subjects to emerge from the subconscious. So, and people end up doing these different creations, and what's amazing is how proud they are. And they're proud not because those are masterpieces. For them, they are masterpieces, and they're proud because they have meaning for them. And one type of workshops that I'm very proud of is stuff that we've been doing in the last couple of years with educators, both in Spain and in Israel, where they end up creating their visual interpretation of what is education. They create the education. And another type of workshops is really the workshops that I've been doing with mixed populations in Israel, Palestinian and Israelis, or Arabs and Jews, whether adults or there are different organizations that engage children, Palestinian and Israeli, and the objects, the playfulness of the objects allow people to meet and to do things together. So I want to end with this guy. This guy participated in one of my workshops in Tel Aviv. He's a refugee from Eritrea that he lives in Israel. And supposedly he didn't understand what I was talking about. I gave him a board to work on, and instead of gluing everything on the board, he glued everything on himself, you know. But just the fact that he was so free to disregard the instructions that I gave him connected to something very personal and very innate in him, and he ended up making some kind of Arab mask, African mask, in the middle of Tel Aviv. You know, he somehow connected to something that was very innate inside him. So the playful path is a way, I think, to connect eventually to ourselves. So I want to end with a little video clip from some advertising campaign that I did in Israel, so you can see a little bit of the process, glamorized for TV, of course, but and then we'll get to work.
Bravo.
I see trees of green, red roses too. I see them blue, for me and you. And I think to myself, what a wonderful world. I think to myself, what a wonderful world.
Okay, thank you. All right. So you're clapping hands because of what Yossi said, right? Anyway, no. So do you want to play with objects? Yeah. Okay, so here's what we're going to do. I'm very happy that many of you came. It's going to be, and I'm happy that many came also. So it's going to be a bit crowded, but we're going to be fine. What I want you to do now, we're going to do a little sampling. What I want you to do is to go to the table. We have two buffets of objects. There is also some more stuff there inside one of the boxes. There are many toys of Noam here from when he was a kid. And I want you to choose two objects, okay? The first object that I want you to choose an object that relates to you somehow, that you connect to that object, that it expresses something about you. Okay? Maybe it's the quality that the object has that you relate to it. Like if you work on computers, don't bring a mouse. So, don't get a cable and say, oh, I work in computers, I brought a cable. Try to go beyond that. Think about the qualities of the object. Maybe it's an intuitional decision. The object means something that you're not sure what it is, but you connect to it. So that's object number one, okay? Object number 2, I want you to choose an object that represents some kind of a dream that you have for the future. Okay? Some kind of dream. It doesn't have to be a dream. I guess, Sharon, I looked at you and I said dream. But some kind of idea, some kind of thing you want to do in the future. Okay? It doesn't have to be a dream, you know? But some imaginary idea of your future that the object somehow represents it. Okay? So we're going to do it. We have like 7-8 minutes for that. 2 objects. And then what I'm going to ask you is to separate in groups, okay? I want you to be in groups of 7, maximum 8, okay? So sit with people that you don't know. You're choosing, yeah, try to sit with people that you don't know. Groups of 7 or 8 maximum, please, not more than that. We'll try to arrange different groups. So in 7 minutes, I'll start shouting, and then you'll arrange yourselves in groups with your 2 objects. Okay? Let's go.
Let me show you what my daughter did with
Oh, nice, nice, nice,
See
nice.
that because there is
Yeah, hay una persona ahí, ¿no?
había una carrera que iban en parejas por en medio del carrera, caminata
Sí, sí,
por en medio
sí,
del
sí.
bosque, iban 2 amigas, dibujó 2 amigas con trozos de ramas y puso el nombre de la marcha.
Mira, dice marcha.
Sí. Me ha recordado.
Muy bien.
Muy bueno.
Cool.
Lovely how you've morphed it into more,
Into a story.
well, not to the story, apart from that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
That's the power of the story. But you morphed it into, different variations and businesses.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
And
yeah,
you
Yeah.
didn't think you would write a children's story.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I'd like to talk more about it. Let me just arrange the room. Let's create some little groups. Hey. Yeah, there's a group here. There's a group here.
I'm a singer, there's a choir.
Okay. Okay.
That is awesome. Tomorrow.
Yeah, tomorrow I think 10:30.
I don't know why
Hey.
I chose. I mean, I know why I chose.
You chose to? Okay. So once you chose, sit over there. Would you like go choose objects or move away so we can? Okay, so move away from here. So go over there. Okay, this is the place of a group. Go choose. Liat, come on.
There were others, but
Oh my God. Ken. You chose objects, so you can see it. Chose objects, join a group. 2 objects. Yeah, for now. Yes.
Choose a team, right?
Okay, yeah. There is a team here, if you... Okay, can we do a team here? You're not participating? You have. Okay, so maybe you want to join one of the teams there?
I just
Muy interesante, ¿eh?
Genial. Muy bien, me alegro. ¿Quieres elegirte 2 objetos?
Puedes coger la esa si quieres, yo me voy
Ok.
Yo me marcho ya terminado.
Perfecto. Okay. Okay. So what I want you to. Okay. 1 more minute choosing. And you can sit, you can start a group over there, Esther. Okay, what I want you to do now, is to do a little round on the in the groups, which when each person has maybe like up to 2 minutes to talk, maybe a little bit less, around 2 minutes, and you explain why you chose object number 1 and why you chose object number 2. Okay, and you present yourself also in case people don't know you. Okay, so you guys can start that. Okay, so there is one more group here. Okay, you guys can start here, and we'll have one more group here. Mira, te paso esto, Uriol. Aquí va otra. Opa. Okay, so there is another group over there, okay? There is a last group over there on that table. Okay? הקבוצה שלך שם.
אז אני לא יודעת מה...
שני חפצים, חפץ אחד, משהו שמייצג אותך בצורה כלשהי, חפץ שני, חפץ שמייצג חלום עתידי שיש לך. אוקיי? חגי, גם אתה תבחר שני חפצים.
בלי לדעת את המשימה, אז אני יכולה להדביק להם איזה מחשבה.
לגמרי, אז שם.
And this is
Elegí el gol porque
now there's AutoCAD. So that's a huge invention.
Why are you looking at me?
Why not?
I know. ¿Ves ahí? ¿Estuviste en la charla? No. Elige 2 objetos, vale. Y vas y te sientas con estos chicos ahí. And you, come on. שני חפצים, אחד עכשיו, השני חלום. או רעיון, או תקווה, או משהו, עתיד.
Yo elegí la piña porque de pequeño pasé prácticamente cada fin de semana en un pueblecito de mis padres. Me siento muy ligado a la tierra, al bosque. Creo que en fin, hay un vínculo entre los humanos.
Who's next? Okay, so I picked this one because I've used this many times. When I was young, I had a used car, and many things were fixed with this inside the used car. So, and I still use it a lot around my house, and as a solution to put the plants that grow on it, or to fix something in the house. I tend to use this a lot because it's mine. I saw that could be here, may not be comfortable, but it's a transition from another state. I am now
I took 3.
All right.
I cheated. So I took your but just no, only because it matched like a bandana or a hat for this lady.
Yeah.
So that was her. Yeah.
And you didn't notice when he took it out?
Face. But the concept was they didn't remind me anything other than the face and the hat. And the concept was I just saw them on the table and it looked like top to bottom. This is the top, the face, and this is the bottom, the feet. Just the concept of top to bottom. They were on the table. I understood evidently they were on the table like this.
Very associative and thinking about a lot of things, and I kind of need sometimes just to, like, I have this feeling that I need to organize my thoughts, like just for a second. I really need to make sense of it all, and it kind of seems like a brain that with some help it will really look like an organized brain. So that's my intuition. And the second about my dream, or I don't know if it's really a dream, but something that I really want to be able to do is, and I've shared some of it with others, but I have some idea that I would like to do that will help people connect better, that to improve interpersonal communication.
Not because I want to be a pirate. I realized that in some way I will.
Sorry.
It's okay. Yeah, after my shows, I will grow up for sure.
¿Te la paso?
So, but I will grow
Muy bien.
Everything's raised. So, and you can do
I'm doing past and present. So this represents past to me because I used to be a scientist. I spent my life wearing gloves in lifetime. And also because sometimes with scientific stuff there's a barrier. This is a physical barrier. So there's always a barrier in communication. So that's why gloves are significant. That's why I picked that up. I love this. Mainly because I love stage which really represents me. It's a lot of directions. It'll fall for a lot of what you're doing. So a lot of the work I do is people. But mainly I love stage.
Finished? Okay. Okay. 2 more minutes. We'll see. Yeah, but wait. 2 more minutes. How many more do you have? How many more do you have? What? You're done? Okay. Excuse me. Opa. How many more do you have? Just one more. 1.5. Okay. Okay, we have. Sorry. 2 more minutes. Decirles dos. ¿Habéis terminado, chicos? Sí, vale. 2 minutos, esperemos que esos terminan.
Básicamente lo único que hago es eso cuando la semana, pero a la hora de la
¿Qué tal? No, ahora 1 minuto más que estos terminen y damos la última.
Something shiny.
We're done. Okay. Please listen to me. Shh. Okay, all the groups are finished? Okay, group number 5 over there. Whatever, you're 5. Okay, so we have a bit more than 10 more minutes to go, and I want you to do a little exercise now. Now, this can be done as an individual, or you might choose to do it with a partner, or you might even choose to do it as a group. It's totally up to you. But what I want you to do is something along the lines of what Picasso did with the head of the bull. I want you to modify one of your 2 objects in some way, okay? Add a different object to it that would somehow change its meaning to something else, okay? It's not very simple, but it doesn't have to be any kind of genius thing. It can be just something little that changes the meaning of the object, either visually, like, you know, it was a stick, now it's a T, you know, or conceptually. You know, maybe it was a smile and you added something that made it be, you know, a sad face, whatever, you know, that changes the meaning of it, okay? It's a bit like being a maker on a nutshell without being a maker, you know? So you can choose maybe with another person in your group that they had an object, you know, you can suggest, you know, how about we join our 2 objects and we create something new together, okay? So what I ask you to do is a little modification of your object, to modify its shape or to modify its meaning, or both, okay? So you part from one of the 2 objects that you have in your hands right now. You don't need the 2 of them. You might choose to use the 2 of them and join them in some way, you know, just as, I mean, here's an example. Can we show your example? Look, is this an ice cream cone or what? You know, and before it was 2 different things, you know. It was this, and then it became an ice cream cone. Okay? So you are the best student. Okay, so. Okay. So, okay, you want to show what you did? Yeah, you. Okay, so it's a shark going to the dentist. Okay, so we have 2 hot glue guns. If you need to glue something, you can use the hot glue guns. There is one over there, and there's going to be one over here. Okay, so it's a quick exercise, 5, 6, 7 minutes, and we're done. All right? So come on, get up. See what idea the object gives you.
Esta es la cabeza, esta es la boca, y este es el...
Nice ice cream.
You know what it was?
What?
I'm a communicator
Yeah.
of the ethereal consciousness.
Oh, why does this represent consciousness?
Now I'm a lighthouse, a beacon for it.
Okay, I made an ice cream out of it, but
Not because it's visible, it's not, it's everything, it's everywhere, it reflects all those different things.
Okay.
Come and watch mine because
Okay, שנייה. Let me get the glue. 1 second.
Do you come to us?
The glue is over there. There is hot glue there. אני בא. Okay, let me give him glue. Okay, there.
Let him see it. This is my character.
Okay. But you didn't follow my instructions.
No, but I didn't listen to them.
Oh, okay.
Entonces, ¿qué hacemos? La nariz, para ya lo tenemos todo.
Ok. ¿Qué estás haciendo? Vamos a pegarlo.
Ayúdanos.
Espera, le tenemos que dar un poquito ahí. Espera.
se engancha. Este es el momento más importante porque cuando le enganchas ya no lo puedes cambiar.
Mira, cógelo de...
¿Te ayudo yo?
Muy bien. Espera.
¿Tienes que enganchar más?
So what can... Time. Okay. Those are your two things? Your two objects? Uh-huh. Yeah, you need to get up and go for it. There is one over there, and it needs to be next to the electricity. Okay.
Inspiring. Really
Great. Wonderful. Thank you.
Amazing on three fronts.
Thank you.
And your work.
Yeah, yeah.
I also, in my previous life, was doing kids entertainment.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And animation. And
Yeah.
And also I have a little son, and suddenly just realizing
All the world that exists there.
all the world that exists and stuff that you would toss away because it no longer works.
Yeah. Exactly.
And it is just.
It's a switch of, it's a simple... Mama? יופי. תודה. Okay, so who wants to show their adaptation? Come on.
Now you can't take it out anymore. Is it?
Okay. Oops. Okay, let's show some adaptations, guys. We have 5 more minutes. Oh, you're creating faces. I'm sorry, we didn't have time to do a whole creation, you know. That's part of the problem. Who wants to show their adaptation?
He wants to.
Okay, what do you have? Okay, please 1 more minute of silence. Kids, peoples, so we can hear what different people did. Jose.
Yeah, we had this powder, and now it became the first prize in the lottery.
And there is no more talk. No more. Okay. All right. Who wants to show? Okay. Let's see.
Everything we took is in there.
Oh, you made a face. Who is this guy?
It's up here. It's a guy with time.
A guy with what?
With time. To enjoy with the family, with friends.
Oh, with time. Okay.
We all put in common that we dream to have more time, so we decided to do the guy with time.
Okay. All right.
Sunglasses.
Okay. Yes, you wanna show?
It was a musician instrument, accordion.
Yeah.
For me, and now it's abanico.
Oh, that's nice. You closed it. That's big one. That's you totally changed it. It cannot be what it was anymore.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I took the gun and the glass and I put them in the frame of the tile, and now it's the moment you realize you're out of ammo.
Oh, what is inside the glass?
It's just in a cup. It said I love New York, and I picked it because it's like where I want to be if I ever make it big. But now it's a whole facing when you realize you're out of ammo, because the gun is
empty. Yeah. And the glass.
Sort of a face.
Oh, and it's sort of a face.
Sort of.
Okay. Yeah. Sort of. Yes.
It's the first class.
It's a first class. Hey. You think I wasn't making faces like this at the beginning?
Yeah, talk to me.
Yeah, talk to me later. Okay, so anybody else wants to show? I'm sorry we don't have more time.
It was like the checkmate, but I wanted to like seahorse, but I cannot separate the...
Oh, you want to make... Oh, that could be really fun.
But
That could be really
couldn't
fun.
separate the mermaid. So kind of sad.
You want me to break the mermaid?
Maybe not. No.
There's resistance.
I know.
Yes. Oh, this is the best one. Oh, and this is her smile. Esta es su sonrisa. Nice. We can glue it again, okay? Okay, so usually we would have like 1 more hour to start now creating within the groups, you know. So this is a short tasting. So thank you very much for coming.